I am feeling pretty sad today.
Mm.
I just wrapped up a telehealth appointment to begin the egg freezing process, and I just left feeling so single. I remember when I was in my mid 20s, early 20s, laughing with my friends, being like, oh, if we're still single, we're gonna have to freeze our eggs and we're 32. Like,
Mm.
LOL, we're all kind of joking. And I just did not think that I was genuinely going to find myself single at 31, starting this process alone. And I was just listening to my doctor, who was so wonderful, walk through the process. And the whole time I just kept thinking, I just can't believe I'm single at 31. And it would be one thing if I wasn't even trying, like if I wasn't putting myself out there, but it feels like I'm putting myself out there all the time. I'm trying to meet him in real life. I'm on the dating apps. I'm asking friends if they have anyone. And it just feels like I'm doing everything that I should be, right? Like I'm really am trying.
All right. So we have a chick here who has been struggling to find a husband. Now, she's not only crying because she can't find a man, she's also crying because she's 31 and now has to seriously invest in the possibility that if she doesn't freeze her eggs, she won't be able to have children in the future. You may be looking at this and going, content gold, wow, cheering and maybe thinking that I take joy in this. Do I take joy in these type of videos? It depends. Right? It depends. So I'm just going to be honest with you. This particular video where a woman, I've actually seen other videos of her and she seems genuine and doesn't seem insufferable. I made a video in the past. She actually didn't like that video at all. I only know this because a subscriber sent it to me of her talking about, I'll play it in a little bit. But no, I don't take joy out of this particular situation because, contrary to popular belief, I actually hope most people drink a little bit of coffee some point in their life. Yes, even modern women. I hope they do. Now, the chicks who get online and say things like, I unalive and go to the clinic every time I get told that I may have a boy and go around championing men are useless and they actually speak out, say, I hate men. Of course, I love to see them once in a while get a little bit of karma. I like to see them drink coffee. But this situation and chicks struggling in the dating market and having to resort to like freezing their eggs, to a degree, this is actually pretty sad. However, I am going to show you guys a video that I reacted about her standards and turnoffs and deal breakers. And I'll leave you guys to decide whether you think her mindset in the videos that I covered earlier contributes to her struggling to find a man in her life. Let's keep listening.
And at one point during the appointment, she was like, "You have to inject yourself, or you have to take an injection as part of the process for." I think she said two weeks or so. And I just kept thinking, I don't even know if I could inject myself. Like, if I was dating someone, if I lived with someone, that would be easy. But now here I am thinking, that's just another layer of me being single throughout this whole process.
Hmm.
And I know that this process does not mean I'm going to need to use the frozen eggs. It doesn't mean I'm not going to meet him soon. And I know that people freeze their eggs for a variety of reasons, and it's just a precaution, but I don't know. Today just really got me. So, yes, I'm sad today, and I might be sad tomorrow and the next day, but then I'll be okay. Um, I don't know why that appointment got me so bad.
All right. So she says she doesn't know why that appointment got her so bad. Well, if you're somebody who values actually having a family and starting a family, and you find out that you might be in the situation where that might be at risk, I would feel bad in that situation, especially somebody who wants to have more kids. But I do have to show you this one thing, right? Because I really do think that as time goes on, we're going to see more and more and more of this. Check this out. A video I released a while back. This was like 7 months ago, right there. I'm going to skip to the very end. Here she talks about her deal breakers, right? These are deal breakers. Some of you may be asking, well, Chisha, why do you even care to cover these topics? Because I, at one point, was a young man looking for what could possibly be my wife, was dating out here. I'm a practitioner and I have not been married for that long. And there's this thing where people think that like there should only be one way commentary, perspectives, and opinions to this conversation, and it should only come from women. No, 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 no. Here's what this video is titled. It was titled, Black Men Don't Want to Marry Black Women, right? She was saying in her experience black men in New York aren't really attracted to black women. Is that true? That's not what I'm going to get to here in this video. What I want to focus on is the question that she asked the whole world, which was, am I too picky on dating apps? This is how that video went. Check it out.
Am I too picky on dating apps? Because if a man has multiple selfies, like 3 or 4 selfies on his profile, that's a no for me. If a man is wearing a hat in every single picture, that is now a no for me. If a man has a bunch of pictures of like his car, that's a no for me. If a man has a bunch of pictures with women, it's not an immediate no for me, but it's like a little bit of a red flag, but it is an immediate no. If a man has multiple pics with different women and they're all in bikinis, like that's a no for me. If a man only has group pictures and I can't see his face, that's a no for me. Like if I have to scroll through and at the last picture I realize, oh, it's this one out of the lineup, like that's a no for me. If a man is holding a fish of any kind, that's a no for me. If a man is holding a baby and doesn't specify whose baby it is, right, that's kind of a no for me. And if it doesn't say in their profile, like whether or not they have kids. If a man is also in his mid-30s and still doesn't know what he's looking for, that's an immediate no for me. If he has like one-word answers in his profile and it's so basic, then that's also a no for me.
Come on.
I'm trying hard to like be positive about these dating apps, and there's 2 people that I've been talking to that I'm kind of excited about, but for the most part, I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, I'm getting nothing. These apps are giving me nothing.
All right, there you guys go. So she asked, hey, am I too picky? I thought that's definitely, in my opinion, is too picky, right? A few of those, of course, I can understand, but a lot of those were just ridiculous. She talked about if a man has too many selfies. I get it. I do think that, I don't think women understand that men really aren't as involved in social media as they are. And what I mean by this is you have guys who understand like the aesthetic, right? He's not a content creator. An average guy really doesn't care that much if his IG is aesthetic. And I do understand that so many chicks today do put that high in their priorities, but not every guy. Listen, there are dudes I know in real life, they have family, they're married, and you go to their IG page, it's just one picture with him and it's some dumb picture from maybe even years ago. What am I trying to say? There are men out here who understand that women do place a higher emphasis in your social media presence. And so they go out here and try to teach guys on how to attract more women using your IG page and make yourself appear more attractive. At the end of the day, those guys' representation online, in most cases that you see who really don't put a lot of effort, is not a representation of their real life. I think in this social media age, we put too much emphasis on that. That's one. And then she had like, if he wears a hat all the time or has a bunch of pictures of his car and a bunch of pictures of, she said, holding a fish, holding a baby and not being particular about being clear that this baby is not his. Okay, I get that one. That could be confusing. And I get how the, pictures with a bunch of random women can also be a turnoff for somebody who's looking for something that's long term. But there are a lot of stuff in there that I personally think are just ridiculous. But listen, I may be wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, we're going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. Remember, this video is largely focused on her freezing her eggs, and she's crying about the possibility of that. Top comment here says, my mom had me at 38. Okay, so someone there is trying to give some joy. Somebody else here says, much of reason women stay single longer is because our standards are higher. And so if you guys haven't noticed already, the first 2 comments are comments of chicks talking about what's possible and not the probability of something happening. So this chick's like, my mom had me at 38. Cool. I understand. But is that the standard that these chicks today should aim for? No. They're ending up in situations where some of them have to resort to freezing their eggs, which isn't promised. Next, this person says, much of the reason women stay single longer is because our standards are high. Your standards are delusional in most cases. Goes on to say, it's better to be single than to lose yourself to a man who might bring you down. To have to be so careful. Don't rush. This is horrible advice. Here she is having to freeze her eggs, and somebody's saying, don't rush. Knowing that the egg freezing process isn't guaranteed. Now, I hope that, of course, she finds a man and they live happily ever after, but it's unlikely with horrible advice like this, and nobody likes that coffee.
No, I'll have a tea, actually.
Somebody else who says, I see you, girl, with the heart emoji. You're not alone. She's definitely not alone. This is going to just keep getting more popular and picking up as we get closer to that 2030 mark. Somebody else here says, if you ever come to Dallas, I would gladly take you out. You're beautiful. Somebody else here. Oh, so this is a dude. Okay. Did you respond to this guy? All right. Over here, offering to take you out. All right. He's ready.
I am feeling pretty sad.
She's like, not you, bro. Not you, bro. How tall are you? Somebody else here says, I'm sorry. You're not alone. Did we already read that? Damn. So this is somebody else saying, you're not alone. Like I said, growing in popularity, you're not behind. Things have changed. Millennials and Gen Z are getting married closer to 30s compared to our parents at mid 20s. You may have a kid at 40 and you be okay. It's the new norm. Right. Here's another person who says it's okay to be sad. The right person will come along in time. Hey, I hope they do. Somebody else here says 33 and just scheduled my appointment for next month. I haven't stopped crying. So this is just a tear-filled thread. Somebody else who says I was in a relationship for 14 years, ended when I was 30. Met my husband at 37 and starting our family now. Wouldn't want it any other way. God's timing is perfect. Please don't feel like you're behind. I really do think that you when you see chicks give each other advice, they will typically sacrifice coffee that needs to be served and prioritize comfort, right? A guy who's in a situation where he needs to fix his life and get his shit together, men will be straight up like, hey man, you need to figure this out. You need to get it together. And too many modern women today do not have people in their ear telling them just that.